Hey guys, it's Wendy at the Coven. So we had a little issue with our audio this time. We didn't have time to fix it. Seems like the first 2 minutes of the episode, you may get a few words here and there that somehow disappeared. We hope that you still enjoy the episode. This one is a really good one because it's about auras. So enjoy. We are the weirdos, mister.
Black as night, erase death from our sight. White as light, mighty hectate make it right. I myself am strange and unusual.
Cast a circle, spark some incense, and grab a cup of tea, because it's time for the Cousins Coven podcast.
And this is Wendy. Welcome back to the Coven, you guys.
Yay, thank you for joining us today.
Yes, we're really excited to be here. So we had someone write in, listener Joy, and she wanted to know if we ever do vision boards.
Ooh.
And I've done vision boards before. What about you?
I feel like it's been a while since I've done collaging and things like that in my life. So not within the last board, but I do like to do like vision boards on Pinterest. I don't know if that's just lazy, but it's just
right.
I'll get stuff ready that I think I might print out for a vision board, or sometimes I'm just in a mood these things together. So I've done vision boards on Pinterest, if that counts.
Yes, I think that it does. I think no matter what you do, it counts. I like that with the vision board, it's basically you're putting intentions. You're finding things that you want and intending for your life, and you're manifesting what you want into your life. So whether you're putting things on Pinterest, or you're clipping things out of a magazine, or you're drawing pictures, or whatever it is that you want to envision for your words, envision for your life. I've known people who've had vision papers where maybe they would write the word beautiful and make sure to put it on their mirror, so that if they didn't have confidence in themselves, then later on they would start to feel that confidence after seeing the word beautiful over and over again.
Yeah, I definitely guess I've worked with that. It's almost kind of like a vision board. If you're going to have it in a place where you see it every day, you see those visions, you see all the energies, it is definitely like a type of sigil magic almost, where you're like bringing in that energy almost unconsciously after a while, because you're going to walk by it all the time and it's going to just soak into your subconscious.
Right.
So yay for manifesting.
Yeah, for sure. I know people who have done vision boards even on their refrigerator.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah, so then using magnets that would help manifest. So like if you wanted to use a special crystal magnet, then you could put that on that specific thing that you were trying to manifest.
Yeah. And I feel like you're sitting next to almost a vision
I
board.
am. Yeah, kind of.
Does that count?
I think so. I mean, this is basically what she's talking about is I have this cork board next to me, and it's leaned up against the wall, and it's basically got all of this information of Rosicrucianism and like Golden Dawn and
different
things
quotes.
that have different quotes, things that have happened to me over the past year and a half. Songs, song lyrics, dates, random dates that somehow resonated with me.
So that is definitely like a vibration of your maybe magical workings.
Right.
So I don't know if that's something you're actively intending to manifest, but it's stuff you're working with in a sense.
Yeah, it's definitely something. I've even got this goes with my Nokian magic. I've got this little layman is what it's called. It's a necklace with different angel sigils all over it. So, yeah.
Very nice. Yeah. I think that a new year is always a good excuse to do any type of project like that, like manifestation goals, resolution goals.
Right.
So.
And set yourself up with something that is achievable. You know, you don't want to say, okay, I'm going to travel to space this year.
Travel to space. Yeah.
If it's not attainable in our current environment, then we shouldn't try to. I guess I wouldn't be reaching for that specific star.
I feel like that's something I'm kind of learning too. Like, it's okay if your dreams are not the same as they once were. It's not like you're giving up on your dreams or your manifestation or your goals. Things just have a way of working themselves out in ways you don't expect.
Right.
So a manifestation board could just kind of be a launching point for focusing in on your goals, and it might transform beyond that.
Sure. Like, I know we kind of have one. I have a doc on our phone just for the podcast where I'm like these are the things that I want for the podcast. Mm-hmm. So.
Oh, yeah. I have lists like that on my phone.
Yeah, it's my manifestation is all on my phone now.
It's true, because it's like we're with it all the time. So anytime it pops into my head, I'll add something to a different list or a different vision board on Pinterest. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
And I feel like regardless of what outlet you use to achieve the board, as long as you're putting your intention into it and it resonates with you, then
it could be virtual.
Yep, it could be virtual.
All right, so I guess the answer is we do those.
Yeah.
And we recommend them.
Yes, totally.
Yeah, it's a great way to be creative, too. Mm-hmm. So, I kind of want to talk about Aquarius today.
Yes, tell me about it.
So, kind of like last episode, I talked about how we wanted to kind of highlight each of the zodiac signs during their corresponding month as we're releasing these episodes. I actually forgot the dates of Aquarius. Do you have that information on hand?
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, I think I have this book here.
You have a giant book.
I have a huge book.
Okay, perfect.
So, Aquarius is January 21st through February 20th.
Okay. So these are the dates of people who are born during this time. You're going to be given the sign of Aquarius. So let's talk about those. The Aquarius symbol is embodied by the water bearer. So a lot of times I've seen it where it's just like one vase pouring water, or sometimes it's actually a human holding the water and pouring it, but it's always pouring and flowing. And that is to represent the cleansing and nourishing nature of flowing water. Washing away the untruths and the closed-mindedness of the world, and Aquarius really fill the void with ideas of community and goodwill. So all I've read about Aquarius is that they're really good people who are transforming like the planet, and I love it. They are the 11th sign in the zodiac, and it's kind of interesting that it's a water bearer, but it's actually an air sign. So what I read is that it's a dual nature, which creates a unique intellectual and social individual, and that Aquarius is ruled by the rebellious planet Uranus and the planet of awakening. So Uranus is basically a planet of change and surprise, always looking to cause a reaction. And something that's really interesting is that even as it spins in the universe, it stands out basically by spinning on a horizontal axis, and all the other planets are actually going to be on a vertical axis. So it is kind of a rebellious sign, the only one to be doing that. And as an Aquarius, if they aren't satisfied with the way things are, they're really excellent at getting the support or the resources they need to instigate change. And I feel like one of my best friends is an Aquarius, and this is just so true. So shout out to Swan. And they have a really stimulating personality that earns them fast friends, and they prefer ideas over emotions, and they're going to be ruled by the head more than the heart. And Aquarius's brilliant ideas and visionary plans inspire us all to raise the bar in our everyday lives. And so, just to kind of plant an example of a type of person that Aquarius is, two famous people that popped out to me were Oprah and Abe Lincoln.
Nice. Nice. So, remember too that if you're on the cusp, so if you're on that, let's say you were born January 21st or at the end, towards the end of I said February 20th. If you're on those cusps and you don't feel that you resonate with Aquarius, it's possible that you have more of the other sign that you're attached to. So like my son, he's an Aquarius. He was born on February 18th, but he's on that cusp. So he has more attributes of a Pisces than he does an Aquarius. But sometimes he'll flip back and forth. That's the benefit of being on the cusp.
Yeah, that is something I've noticed too, is my sister's a Leo, but she told me that doesn't resonate with her and that she's on the cusp. And I also have another sibling who's a Leo, and everything resonates with him.
Yeah.
So that's just kind of the fun thing about the zodiac, you know, take what you like out of it. I don't take it too seriously. A lot of people get super upset over it, saying that it's just like, oh, a generic blanket of information, but I tend to resonate a lot, like we talk about all the time on this podcast. We're such Pisces.
Yeah.
So,
Pisces, empathic, loving, emotional beings.
Right. So an Aquarius being logic over emotions, it almost seems like a luxury. Like, I can't imagine that lifestyle.
Right.
Everything is emotions over logic for us Pisces.
Yeah.
I mad respect for an Aquarius. That sounds like a personality that's really great at manifestation and just changing.
Right.
So, shout out to you guys.
Yeah, love it. All right. So what's on our list today?
Yay! So today I've been really wanting to do this episode. I wanted to talk about auras, something I'm interested in gaining more knowledge on. So we did a lot of research for you guys, and hopefully you guys are interested in auras as well.
Yes. We're really excited to talk about it. So what is an aura? An aura is the energy vibrating from your body in the form of color. And some say that this could be your consciousness itself being shown. And in some belief systems, it's also thought that the stronger the aura, the healthier the life force. And if your aura is faint, then your life is nearing its end. And it's kind of sad, right? But other belief systems think that just like a mood ring, your aura can change color. So depending on who you are or what your mood is, or it's going to depend, your aura color is going to depend on that. And some people also believe that it can grow and change, that as you grow and change, so does your aura. So maybe the first layer of your aura is really thin, and then later on in your life it gets bigger and bigger. So it just depends on where you're going, where you're at in your life.
That resonates with me, that it's going to change and grow just like you.
Right, exactly. And so just like most things in this metaphysical world, your aura can experience blockages. So it's important to make sure that your aura stays clear and clean. And in order to do that, you want to make sure that you meditate, do yoga, maybe go to therapy, get outside, seek help from a Reiki practitioner or an aura cleanser, or maybe some other practitioner of the metaphysics. And just like your chakras can have that residual residue from things that happen in your life, so can your aura, because they're totally linked together.
Okay.
The chakra and the aura. And so make sure you can also to seek out the different tones for where you might be blocked at, and listen to those tones to kind of clear that aura. And
YouTube is such an easy resource that we have these days. We've talked about it many times. Just type in whatever type of frequency or music or chakra or whatever you want to work with. YouTube will hook you up.
For sure. Just kind of be careful who you look through. I guess there's a couple of them out there that are not great. So just, if you have a favorite place that you like to go, keep using them.
Yeah, so auras is another one of those topics, just like the zodiac, that I think some people would eye roll at or think it's too woo-woo. But the deeper I get into this witchy life, the more I'm like, no, for sure, it's real.
Yes, absolutely.
And you always hear people talking about, like, oh, that girl just has such a great aura, such a this aura. So I'm definitely down. I want to talk about the aura colors specifically that are going to come up. So let's dive into that. So just like Wendy was saying, our energy bodies, the chakras and the auras, they show the colors because the energy that every living being has is vibrating at different frequencies. So it's actually able to be detected. You can see these frequency waves as the color in the auric field. And I learned that this one website just said that, yeah, your aura isn't always one color, although you may have a predominant color.
Sure.
So I'm going to just kind of go through the colors here. Red aura is one of the most powerful colors found in the aura energy, and those with a red aura are passionate, strong, and reactive to their environment. A dark red aura might mean that you're centered and grounded to the earth, self-sufficient, and able to survive any circumstances.
Ooh, that's not me.
Yeah, I've never had a red aura, definitely. But the dark red aura vibes really remind me of the root chakra.
Sure.
Like having that strong survival sense.
Right.
There's also a pink aura, which means you're a loving person. You might be sensual, who appreciates the finer things in life. And if you recently fallen in love, you'll have a significant amount of pink just in your aura. The orange aura would represent good health, vibrancy, and that you're living life to the fullest. And you wield great personal power and give off an air of confidence. We've got yellow, which is the person's energy source. It's kind of the same thing as their chi, and it's a brilliant yellow aura. This kind of just means that you're spiritually... Oh, our laptops...
I am so sorry. I'm not sure what's going on here, but apparently it wants to tell us that it's downloading every possible thing that it can possibly download.
I know. It's like, I have a yellow aura. Teacher, teacher.
Yeah, it's all, I'm valid. Okay, I got it.
Woo! Wow. Okay, computer.
I don't know what it's doing.
Yeah, the computer's being weird today. So yellow aura is just going to mean that you're spiritually inspired or experiencing a spiritual awakening, and you have a playful spirit and will act on your thoughts. And the next aura I have is green. So people with a green aura are more connected to nature. They tend to focus most on helping others. They usually are found with people who are healers, teachers, people who work in the public for good, any kind of medical environment. And the color reflects personal growth, openness of heart, willingness to change and to transform. So the green auras sound like pretty awesome people.
Yeah, absolutely.
And for most of these colors, I'm just going to focus on the positive aspects. I could have gotten into what some of the negative effects were, but that's really no fun.
Exactly.
So blue aura indicates peace and a person who can speak their truth easily and knows their own sense of authority. And if it's a darker blue, it could be an indication of connection to the deep mysteries of spiritual life, intuition, creative imagination. You could have clairaudience or even telepathy. So
this is my color.
Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, I feel like it's just like the chakras. The closer we get to that third eye, the more we're dealing with that psychic nature, further away from that security and groundedness of earth. So when we get to purple, the purple energy is associated with the pituitary gland, the pineal gland, and the nervous system, so the third eye. And if you have a violet aura, you are a visionary on the highest level. You're someone who can daydream and change the world with spiritual love. If it's indigo, you could get glimpses into other worlds and are a wise seeker.
Nice. You're a purple.
I feel like that.
Yeah, I think mine is like blue. I'm surprised that indigo's in the purple. Mine's like that, kind of like a teal color, almost like.
And isn't that associated with the chakra of the throat too?
Yeah, which is weird because usually my throat chakra is blocked.
Because you were wanting to work on that, but that just means it's at your center, maybe.
Right.
I didn't know this, but there's also silver and gold auras.
Okay.
And so these are usually really positive and considered spiritual vibrations. Silver is the color of abundance. It indicates you have great physical and spiritual wealth. While gold, it could mean that you have angels and other divine entities protecting you, and you're being mentored and guided to reach beyond yourself.
Nice.
And there could also be a rainbow aura, which is really emanating from people who could be healers, those who love to work with energy fields. They're evolved spiritually and attuned with spiritual frequencies of the fifth dimension.
Dang.
So isn't that the dimension of love?
Yeah, it's just really up there. So you can see things on a broader scale.
Okay. I haven't looked too deep into the two dimensions. I know it's been something you've dabbled in.
Yeah, just a little bit, but not enough. We definitely need to go there.
Yeah, eventually.
Yeah.
So
I need to go to the sixth dimension, man.
the sixth? What's that one?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think I started a doc of notes for this, and I totally forgot what they are.
Yeah, we just got kind of intimidated with all the studying.
It is a lot of information. Yeah. So I wanted to dig into aura layers.
Awesome.
So like a plane of existence for your consciousness or soul, that's basically what an aura layer is. So the first layer is the etheric body. And you can liken this to the dimensions too, because I think they're very similar.
Oh.
So the etheric body, this aura portion can go anywhere from 1/2 inch to 2 inches from your skin. So think like when you come in contact with somebody very intimately, shaking hands, hugging, you're invading your aura into their aura and you're rubbing auras together. But this etheric body is related to the root chakra and it's directly connected to the skin. It works as a bridge to connect you to the higher layers of consciousness. It's essentially your life force. It's where physical pleasure, pain, and health come from. And this body is constantly in use. Strengthen this layer by being physically active, and you can cleanse it with tones of C. So if you're blocked in that root chakra, in that etheric body, in that first, listen to the C tone.
Interesting.
Yeah. The second layer is the emotional body, and this is 1 to 3 inches from your skin. It's connected to the sacral chakra. And it's also connected to the etheric layer. So each one is connected to each other in a way. So imagine an outline around the body. Now this one's connected to the first one.
And they're pretty small, being
Yeah.
half an inch to an inch.
Right. So this one can go up to 3 inches. And this is the vibrational tone of where your emotions are. And it can change colors depending on your mood. And the emotions ability, this is where your emotions are kept, the ability to manifest, your psychic abilities, your imagination is all stored in this aura or related to this aura. And it's also where destructive behavior and self-sabotage can come from. Mm-hmm. So if you're blocked in that area, that's where you want to go to, is that second layer. You can strengthen it by lowering stressors and cleanse it with the notes of D.
So that's interesting because I never thought about it when I'm trying to read auras. If the different layers, do you think they're different colors?
They can be, yeah.
But not always necessarily.
Right, not always necessarily. And a lot of times I'm, depending on how you are, as far as your level of being able to see. Like me, I can barely see an aura if my life depended on it. It's not something I'm very strong at. I can feel more than I can see anything.
Same, I can't really see them.
Yeah, and so, but if you do have the ability to see, usually you're seeing that first layer. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you're lucky enough to be able to see all the layers.
Gotcha. Mm-hmm. That's what I was assuming because we'll talk about more exercises later.
Yes. So the third layer is your mental body, and this is 4 to 8 inches from your skin. It's connected to your solar plexus chakra and also to the emotional body. So you'll notice that each layer is connected to the previous, like I was saying before. But like your first layer isn't directly connected to the final layer. Mm-hmm. It has to go through all these steps to get to that.
Right.
Yeah. And science, believe it or not, believes that these layers may be potentially in some way where our emotions are kept and where our memories are kept in this aura layer.
Really?
So just because they're vibrational, we don't really know what these layers around us consist of.
So we are constantly sending off these little vibrations.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And not just us, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mental body, it resonates at a higher vibration. It's where your ego, your thoughts, and your mental processes come from. And this will actually spark when you have high creative juices flowing through your body.
Cool. I've heard of people having crackling energy.
Yes. And you'll be excited to know that your magic and your magical ideas come from this layer.
Nice.
So if you want to strengthen it, you just do that simply by thinking and contemplating things and creating art.
I can do that.
Right? Sounds easy.
Yeah.
And cleanse it with notes of E. Layer 4, this is your astral body.
Ooh.
We're like in this astral, we've been in this astral plane before, this astral body.
Yeah.
So this is connected to your heart chakra. It's about 8 to 12 inches from your skin. So it can be up to a foot from your actual skin. Mm-hmm. And it's connected to the mental body. And this is where astral cords form with the other layers. So if you are astral projecting, this is what connects you so that your cord can allow you to be released out into that astral realm.
So does
And
that
we'll pull you
astral
back.
aura outline, that's what's leaving and traveling? Or...
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
I
how
don't
kind
know.
of visualize.
It's just what connects you to your body to bring you back so that you don't lose your body.
Gotcha. Okay, so it is that cord that we talked about.
Right. And let's see. This is the place that is kind of like a door to the astral world, like I was saying, and it connects you to alternate dimensions and realities. So you can travel from this astral aura into those other sections of whatever is out there in those dimensions. This is also a layer of your aura that you can heal yourself and others. So when you're performing Reiki, you're in that astral realm.
Nice.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And the thought here is that we can communicate with others in this layer as well. So even when we're not talking. So like best friends talking without talking, or when you're in a relationship with somebody and you're having a communication. Let's say you're in a room full of people and you guys are eyeing each other and talking to each other, but there's no words going back and forth. You're still communicating with each other because you've been close. So like let's say you and your best friend are at a party, like I said, and she's looking at you and she's like, can you fucking believe what they just said? But she's not saying that.
Right.
But you know that's what she said.
I had no idea that was tied to the auras.
Yes. Because you guys are connected in that space as well.
Right. That makes sense. And that's always happening between parents and kids or siblings, twins.
Right.
People who have had a lot of close proximity, so their auras are like maybe blended. Like I'm curious to know what happens to your aura when you're close.
Yes. So that's actually the next thing on my list.
Perfect.
Is that when you're connected with somebody, you know, you sleep in the same bed together, you share relations with each other, you have sex, that connects your auras together. Now, even when you're separated in a different space, like I'm here, my husband's at work, we're still connected. So sometimes I can be thinking something and he knows that I'm thinking it and that's where our auras are communicating with each other and having a conversation.
That's so cool. I just thought it was like a psychic knowing. I didn't know it had anything to do with our aura field.
Right.
And now that kind of makes it almost like scientific. I know
right?
a lot of people would think that's stupid, but to me it's making sense.
But it also means that when you separate from that person, when you're no longer friends, when you're no longer in a relationship, when you have to cut those ties and not be together, you're still connected.
Yeah.
So you have to do the healing to close that off because it's like they've been ripped out of your skin. And so that's why sometimes when people have a breakup, they're like literally saying how their body hurts. Because literally there are holes in your body where that person used to be because your auras are disconnecting.
So you need that time to heal.
Right.
I would imagine that your aura would get disrupted, like you said earlier, just like the chakras, but through any trauma in life?
Yes. Yeah, it can happen from any trauma.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can strengthen your astral body by meditating and meditating with others. And then cleanse it with the notes of F. Layer 5, the etheric temple body and the etheric double. So this is kind of an interesting one. So it's connected to your throat chakra. It's connected to the astral body. It's about 1 to 2 inches from the skin. That doesn't make sense. I must have meant feet. 1 to 2 feet from your skin. Oh yeah, that says feet. I just can't see. Basically, this aura mirrors the one that's attached to your skin. So they call it a double. It resembles your physical body. It's like a photograph of your physical body. It's where your identity, your personality, and your energy comes from. And diseases are also stored here. So let's say your physical body is sick. It has to go through these lines. So let's say whatever is coming to you, I'm just going to use the worst of the worst. Let's say potentially down the road you could get cancer. It's stored in this etheric double aura until it's time for it to travel to your body, and it has to go through all these layers of your aura in order to attach itself to your body. I know that sounds really fucking crazy.
Right.
I know it does, but it's almost like you have an option if it's sitting in that layer to stop it from coming.
That was my next question.
Yeah. So you can heal if you keep that aura healed, it will stop the sickness and the illness from entering into your actual skin.
There's a lot of people who are going to link physical illnesses to some sort of emotional pain.
Right.
And the fact that you're tying all of these chakra layers to the emotions and to this and to that, it's pretty cool. I really had no idea how deep that the auras went.
Yeah, when I first started looking into this, because I was like, we got to talk about layers, but I didn't know what I was actually getting into.
Yeah.
Then when I started researching it was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it is basically everything.
Yeah, and I've been wanting to talk about it to you so bad.
Yay.
And I couldn't.
I know, we try to always wait to talk on when we're recording.
Yeah. So, what did I say? Diseases. Okay, so you can strengthen this aura by speaking your truth and knowing yourself and cleansing it with the notes of G.
Oh, yeah.
So, speaking your truth is a really hard one for me. Like, I am so afraid of judgment. I'm so afraid of hurting other people's feelings. I'm more worried about how I'm affecting other people than how they're affecting me. So it's really hard for me to be like, okay, I don't want you to do this because this is how it makes me feel.
I think that makes sense because in our lives, I don't know if it's just as young women or just people in general, but you're taught so much to be polite and to just be so, thinking about everybody else. Like, even if they offer you something to eat or drink at another person's house, it's more polite. Just say, oh, no, I'm fine. No
Right.
this, no that. So you're told to suppress what you really want as a little kid to be polite all the time.
Yeah.
So it's like you're having to rewire your brain to speak your truth, because to not think about the other person's reaction and to just think about yourself, that's not something that we can all do easily.
Right. Exactly.
So I get that.
Yeah. So that's a hard one. Layer 5. It's hard. Layer 6, the celestial body. This is your third eye chakra. It's 2 to 3 feet from your skin and connected to the etheric double. This is where you can reach enlightenment. You can have access to the Akashic Record here. So we've talked about the Akashic Record before. I know it's something that I'm not sure if you believe in or not.
It's something I
You're on
only
the
hear
fence.
about, so
Yeah.
I don't know enough. It's going to be like, once I look into it, I'll probably be like, oh yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I believe
totally get
it.
this. Yeah, you can access higher knowledge in this place. And basically that's what the Akashic Record is. It's that higher knowledge. And you can connect to the divine and other paranormal beings. So this is where our psychic ability is, basically, I feel like, because we have the ability to talk to spirits from another place. So you and I have been in this celestial body, our aura. So when you feel a spirit touching you, you're feeling it on that celestial body.
That's awesome. I like that.
So that celestial being is able to talk to you on that celestial level.
Right.
And our brains have to try to communicate and process it as humans, living humans. This is also a place, through this, you can find your calling and purpose in life. So when you're meditating in that celestial body, when you're in that celestial space and you've created a celestial space filled with love and light, that's where you're going to find your true calling in this world and your true place.
So how would you recommend really accessing all of these things?
Lots and lots of meditation.
Okay, so
I
like
cannot stress it enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
Meditation,
And so,
yoga.
yeah, and you can focus on one after another, and you have to imagine you're traveling from one aura to the next aura to the next aura. They're basically planes of existence inside of yourself.
Oh.
That are going outside of yourself. So it's hard to put into words, really, because it's all theoretical, right?
Right. And I think that chakras are just maybe more common.
Right.
I don't know if that's just an American thing, but like
Maybe.
it's more people talk about that than I actually have ever heard people talk about the aura, more than just being like one color that you read.
Right.
So this is really interesting.
It's a little in depth.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
No, it kind of is putting everything in. It all makes
full
sense.
circle.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So to strengthen this celestial body, this layer 6, you need to have unconditional love, not just for those around you, but inside yourself. And a lot of times you can have unconditional love for somebody, but maybe you don't feel that for yourself.
Right, everybody.
Yeah, you're like, or everybody. You can also cleanse it with notes of A. Layer 7, it's our last layer. Layer 7, it is the etheric casual body. It's the crown chakra. It's 3 to 10 feet from your body. So 10 feet from your body, this layer could be. Taking up a large amount of space. Now imagine how much that touches people as you walk down the street. Imagine
on the bus.
Yeah. Imagine you're at work and you're standing at a counter and you're talking to somebody on the other side. That whole talking of you're in my bubble, you're so close to me, you're in my bubble, that's real. That is your aura. That bubble is your aura.
So I'm wondering if that's how we get general vibes and energy and impressions from people.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that guy's just creeping me out because he's
Right.
got a weird aura.
Yeah. And it's talking to you on a different level. So anybody that you're in a room with, if you don't know them, it doesn't matter. Your auras are talking on a different level. And so it's touching into that and listening to that. Knowing how to listen to the different aura layers.
Oh my gosh, is this how like mediums will know how to get into a room of people? They can
Yes.
access, what was it, the 5th layer aura
Yes.
and hear all those ghosts and who needs a message?
So you have to be connected and working with that aura and know how to get there and how to interpret the information that's sent back to you, to your brain, how your brain interprets the information that your aura. So it's like they're connected in a way, but it's like down this long, weird highway.
Right. That'd be great guided meditation.
Yes.
To go through the auras.
So layer 7, I said it was connected to the celestial body. This is where your life plans and your contracts are set forth prior to you even being born.
I've heard of this concept.
I know that's really hard.
I have heard of this concept, that we choose the life, even our difficulties.
Right. That we choose the path that we're on, which seems weird. I don't think we choose every single moment. I think we choose events that are going to happen to us.
Right. Yeah, not everything, but as some sort of calling or,
Or like, I know in this life, and I know this sounds horrible, but I've heard this analogy before, but in this life I chose to have something bad happen to me. Like a death, a rape, a murder. You choose something bad to happen to you.
To grow from, or...
Yeah, there's some sort of karmic debt potentially. So like, if you're setting your life path for us, you're like, I know in this life I have to have something bad happen to me. So when I'm X years old, I'm going to die, and this is what's going to happen to me. I know that sounds horrible. It sounds like a really hard concept.
But what would be the benefit?
Well, the thing is, we don't know. It depends about the karmic debt. If the karmic debt exists, then we have to... That follows us from life to life. So let's say in my last life, I owned a bunch of slaves and I murdered a lot of people. So I have to make up for it in this life by dying. And then the life that I live after that, my debt will be done and I can move forward.
Gotcha. So it's all about finding that karmic balance.
Right. So in this... Catheric body, we also hold our past life memories here. The concept of universal oneness is kept here. There's no ego present in this space at all, so you cannot have an ego in that part. So if you're constantly living in that aura, in that plane, you're like, oh! Yeah, it's basically the monk life.
Right.
Only positive energy. Yeah, enlightenment. Only positive energy resides here. You can strengthen it only by extreme meditation. Extreme. To the extreme. I don't think I've spent... I can't say any time in here. I've just dipped my toe into the Catheric layer.
Yeah, there's a reason that I haven't accessed my past life memories.
Right.
Yeah.
You can cleanse this one with notes of H.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
That's a lot of good information, and it's like a new viewpoint for me to think of, is taking the aura more seriously than just a mood ring. Because that's kind of what I was looking at it like before we just had this conversation.
Right.
And so now it really connects to everything, and I'm loving it more.
So you can have this rainbow of auras outside of your body. So just kind of imagine you as a paper doll, and you're just a flat paper doll on the table, and then use a Sharpie to mark around, and that's each of the layers. And you can see just how big they go.
Exactly.
And I know that there are people out there who can see all 7 layers.
Right.
But I think that person is really hard to come by.
Yeah, let's talk about that on like ways to see auras. And even though we said we don't really see them, like I feel like there's been moments where I've seen a little bit of color. But it does take practice. So there's a lot of ways you could practice, either by looking at maybe your own hand, or even like a fruit, like a banana, putting it up against like a white or black background.
Sure.
And then just having like a soft focus on it to where it kind of just like all blends together and kind of zones out. And then eventually you might be able to see some like little waves of energy going on. I feel like I can see the waves more than I can actually see the color. And for me, I've only had like really one moment of looking at my palm of my hand. And I don't know if it was the cough syrup that helped, but I felt like I saw my aura, and that doesn't normally happen. And it was like a purpley aura. But it is an interesting process, because the more I try to chase it and stare at it specifically, it would disappear. And it is all about just like zoning out a little bit.
Sure. I think this is going to sound really strange, but it is me you're talking to, so maybe that's part of it.
Right, that's everything we talk about.
As a child, I feel like I used to be able to see auras, because I remember specifically going to my mother and saying, "What is that rainbow?"
What?
Around somebody's skin, and she was like, "I don't know what you're talking about."
Oh my gosh.
But I think somewhere along the way I kind of lost that.
That's so cute.
Yeah, imagine being a child. Yeah, purple.
Right?
Yeah.
That's really sweet. Do you have visual memories?
Kind of. And I do remember laying on my bed and the sun kind of coming through the curtains and me just having my hands up in the air counting and then seeing as I waved my hands back and forth, like I was waving them back and forth, and I could see colors moving back and forth.
So maybe
and
you had your rainbow
I wasn't
aura.
hallucinating then, so I was, a child, like a young child.
Yeah, but like everyone says, young children are more tapped in. They're more spiritual. They're less judgmental or like conditioned through society. So that is the time when spirits are more seen by kids. So why not an aura?
Right. And then on top of it, at that point, yeah, even if you have taken from your past life and there are things that you have to deal with in those auras, but at that point, usually at the age of 7 or 8, we're still not, if you're lucky, you haven't had anything horribly happen to you up until that point. Mm-hmm. And so that's an even more reason why you would see things that you couldn't see because you were
more innocent.
Yeah, more innocent, and you weren't dealing with all the things that people had said about you or every bad thing that's ever been.
Yeah, maybe your aura is a little more cleansed at that point.
Right.
That would make sense that as a young kid you're like really in tune with every layer.
I'm like, oh.
You were that way.
Vibrating on this different level.
Yeah.
I was born up here. Then something happened. I fell to the ground.
Right.
Yeah.
You had to climb back up that wall and then end up back there.
Sure.
So, very, very cool. I don't know how you feel about aura tips and tricks, but I've also seen other like videos on YouTube where they'll try to like put maybe like a red ball to look at and a blue ball to look at, and you have to look kind of in the middle to see if you can see some colors.
Yeah, I've done that before. Mm-hmm. And I've also seen one where you put your finger in the middle of them.
Oh, okay. And so you look kind of, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be like on this white background. I think that the tip is to not have a whole lot of light because our eyes, for some reason, just we're constantly focused with this meat suit body of ours. We just focus on what's in front of us. That's what our eyes are trained to do for fight or flight. But if we're in that relaxed state and you've just got done meditating or you went for a run and you came back and now you're just trying to relax, I think then you're at that point where you might be able to see a little bit better.
That's how I felt because when I saw it, it was like only like a couple weeks ago. I was really sick. Mm-hmm. I had gotten up in the middle of the night and just decided I'd practice looking at my aura because I knew this episode was coming up. And so I just had a little bit of light TV light basically coming in and looking at my hands, and I was very sleepy. So it was definitely like more zoned out than I normally would have been. That I was able to finally see something.
Yeah.
But that's taken me a long time, and so I think it's something that we can all do if we practice it enough, and you can develop it over time.
It's like a muscle. And so you have to make it muscle memory. I feel like I'm so into the feeling of things, how things feel, that, like even the movement of my hands, I feel energy.
Right.
So just me doing this, I can just grasp your energy. Just even though we're how many feet apart.
Our auras are touching.
Yes. And I can just kind of just brush your energy.
That's cool. I have heard too that like people in relationships, they can have, like you said, that very connected aura. So they can even be jointed, and that's kind of like, I think along the lines of that whole, is it the twin flame thing where it's like your soulmate and you guys have like similar energies.
It's kind of like that thing too. I don't know if this happens to you, but it happens to me a lot. I'll be thinking of somebody and they'll text me, or we'll both be texting each other at the same time because we're thinking of each other at the same time. That happens to me a lot.
Yeah, I had dreamed of one person the last 3 nights, and then they eventually texted me, and then those dreams stopped.
Okay.
So I was like, oh, okay.
So somewhere out there, your aura was contacting their aura saying, hey, I need to talk to you.
That was my dad, so I felt like that was sweet.
Yeah, that is sweet.
Yeah, we've definitely had close contact over the years, so.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, you share DNA.
Took care of me and such. So.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think that family bonds through the aura makes so much sense.
Or like how that mother's intuition, like we were talking about, mother's. Like, for me, for instance, I've known when my children were hurt when they weren't with me. So, people call that mother's intuition, but really it was my aura was probably, her aura was screaming out to me. And I was like accepting that, like, fuck my baby.
Yeah. That's really cool to think about, like ghosts interacting with the aura to get us messages or knowledge, tuning into everything.
And our spirit guides would contact us through that aura. It's just how we accept that information and whether the channel is open, whether the doors are open.
Right.
And that's the point. Is like you have to find your way from your body to open each one of those doors. And if all doors of communication are open, who knows? Who knows what we would be willing to see or be able to see.
Yeah. I just want to be floating like Jesus, okay? So I felt like I was tapping out, but do you have anything else?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I am real good.
Okay, well, hopefully you guys enjoyed that episode. You don't mind our woo-woo-ness. I think by now you guys are used to it if you're still listening. And you can join us next Wednesday for another new episode. In the meantime, you can go find us over on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Cousins Coven, and check out our blog at cousinscoven.home.blog for witchy words of wisdom, spells, and all of our archive podcast episodes from season 1. And send in any research ideas you'd like us to cover, witchy questions, fan mail, or just your paranormal experiences into cousinscoven2@gmail.com. We love to hear from you guys, so please like, subscribe, and share with all of your witchy and weirdo friends.
And may you find happiness in your heart, love for yourself, and joy in each other. Blessings to all.